So the She Garden started by, it produces everything that makes you happy. I'm in a really unique location in the fact that I am on the corner of 34 and 321, a major intersection. My only neighbors are an elementary school that are from kindergarten up to 6th grade. And when my son actually went to the elementary school, and he actually had to get special permission to walk home, and he literally would walk across the creek and up the hill and then come home. And that was the first time I realized that how much people look at what's happening at this garden. They have the buses that stop every day that go past from the school. They are looking at the garden. And now that I see that, and I start to hear some of the people that say, some of the kids on the buses that I will meet in the community or whatever, will say, "Oh, you used to inspire me because I could sit at I would always hope that we would get the stoplight so I could see what was going on in the garden." And then, well, what are you doing now in the garden? I got these great huge moons that I installed, and one of the contractors were like, "Christy, you need to raise that up a little bit because it's too low. We'll come help you raise it up because it's too low." So you start to see people taking interest in the garden because it is art, and it is something different, and then they realize they're being influenced by color, they're being influenced by form, they're being influenced by objects, and they don't really realize it at first, and now it's part of a whole culture of you're the artist on the garden. You are the art in the garden. People will stop, which is great. They're supposed to stop, but sometimes they're like, we didn't know if we should stop or not. And to see people walk through, and they enjoy seeing, being able to go under the arch and see the tunnel of love, and then see the hearts on podiums and walk through the bottle house. All of that is an environment that's very, very tactile, very open, very accessible for people to walk through. Under the Love Shack, which is a building that I created, there is a piano. That is a hand-painted piano, and kids go under and play to their heart's content. I had one girl here for a couple hours, and at the end she's like, "Mom, I can play the piano now." And she could play the piano, not to a song, but it was wonderful to hear, as you're in the garden, to hear that music. And well, I probably wouldn't think it was music in the house. It is music in the garden with no problem. I have numbers of water features outside. One of them is an old slide where the water comes down the slide, and you can hear the water trickle down and enjoy the sounds that you see with the garden. One of my paths is made from old shingles. So as you walk through on that path, it is old shingles that's very easy to walk on, which is surprising because they mostly go to the landfill. But you can walk and hear kind of a sandpaper sound underneath them as you go through. And the arch is covered. So in the summer, gourds grow down from the arch, so you actually can feel and see the leaves. And gourds have a different smell than anything else, so you can smell that smell. The path goes basically all the way around the garden, so you can go into the area that was the original part of the garden, surrounded by the painted picket fence, and you can see the vegetables and flowers growing out of file cabinets that are actually accessible because they're raised up about 2 feet. And I love to be able to garden out of that because I don't have to bend down or anything. And then it's surrounded by blueberry bushes. Then you can walk in the bottle house, and you can see the colors coming from the bottle house. And you can actually do rubbings and stuff from the bottles because of the round shapes and everything that you see as well. So it's a very open atmosphere that you've got. If you go on any of the websites I'm on, it will say, You can tour the garden. You can enjoy the garden. When you come into the yard, there is a little kiosk that has the rules of the garden. So you know that you can't pick the flowers. You can only smell them. You can buy the art that's on the porch. You got to pet the cats. If you take pictures, put it on social media, and then enjoy. Enjoy is the one thing that's all by itself. Riding by and saw the garden. Nothing could have prepped me for the absolute magic journey I was going to take. Definitely will be sharing this with some smoke and space with others. Your art deserves to be seen. Izzy. Saw your beautiful garden from the back of my bike. I'm at a loss for words. This is truly amazing. Thank you for re-energizing my soul. You are a beautiful gift to the world. I'm coming back with friends. We love you. Girls just want to have fun. Love your yard. Okay. So this is the world's tallest but smallest art gallery. It was designed on a 10 by 10 platform. This is 6 feet wide, and I can display art in here. We have gallery 1 and gallery 2 is on the other side, and people are able to buy art, but also this is the very accessible place that as people are on the corner, they always want to know what I have in the display case. And you can see here I used a lot of recycled parts. This is my old paint cans. That is part of my gabled end of the structure itself. These columns are old bed posts that are on the side from a bed frame. And this is just plywood on the inside, and then it's got the overhangs and everything to protect the art as well. There's lots of areas in the garden that you can sit. I will have, I had one girl whose mom loved my garden. She sent me an email saying, can I surprise my mom with lunch in your garden? I'd have for Mother's Day, and I'd happened not to be here, and I was like, well, that's fine. And I left the door open for her, and they had a picnic in the bottle house. I wasn't even part of it, kind of thing. And she said it was the happiest thing her mom could do. And then she sent me this wonderful thank you letter. I was able to meet her dad. Her dad came to the door, knocked on the door, and said, "We would just want to give it to you. It was just such a special moment," kind of thing. So we have, in addition, I have the big turquoise table. It is a picnic table that I built in honor of my dad. Right after he died, he built everything with big, huge 2x4s. It all was overbuilt. But there is a movement that started out in Colorado called the Turquoise Table Movement. And what they do is they take picnic tables, but they put them in the front yard and not the backyard. And that encourages all the neighbors to come over and have food, drinks, whatever in the front yard. And they're all painted turquoise. So there's actually, you can find where turquoise tables are and all kinds of stuff like that. So I even have a turquoise picnic table. So you can just enjoy having lunch out on the picnic. So this is the Tunnel of Love, and you can see in the summer months I have gourds coming down that cover the whole thing. This was a friend of mine's blacksmith hood that his dad was a do everything kind of stuff, and they were selling the house, and he gave me the blacksmith hood so you can actually look up and look at the stars and everything. And then you can come through. I used old shingles as the paving areas because obviously I hate for them to go into the landfill, but also it makes a great path and makes a pretty accessible path with what you've got. And then I have stuff growing all over the place, and this is the Tunnel of Love. There's a very fine line between being a hoarder and what is future art. So I had a lot of mannequin parts, but it looked kind of hoardish, so we put them all in the bed, and they are not allowed to come out of the bed till they're painted. So, so now it's a collection and not
I can see that.
hoarding. This was all my dad's old gloves.
Oh, how cool.
Because, they lived up north, and so we had a ton of them. And so I filled them full of great stuff and then put them on post and hung them up.
That's a great idea.
Once the weather starts, I want to do once a month a Create Sunday morning where artists can come, bring their own supplies, bring their own stuff, and whatever they're working on, they just create under the pavilion, which is a way to develop. Artists tend to isolate a lot, so it's a way that you can just, if you've got a project, come work on it. And you don't have to be an artist. You can just, be at home and, you want to paint on a painting and you're afraid to, and you might feel better with everybody there. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to do. And I've opened it to musicians if they want to come do, video shoots, anything like that they've got. I'm hoping to have some art camps this summer. Where students can walk through the garden, do some things in the garden, and then have a classroom space under the pavilion as well. A year from now to 2 years from now, I will have the Art B&B set up so people from all over the place can come stay in the camper, the Airstream, or the tent, and each one of those spaces will have a small table and chairs outside, but they will have a small privacy wall that's going to be created out of recycled parts. And it depends on what parts I get. But I go to so many campgrounds and you're like right on top of people and there's no way that you can have just your own little space. And so if you come, you can see the fact that, oh, this wall is made from plastic bottles. Is this something that I could use? And then I will continue with I grow out of old file cabinets as a recycled part, and each unit will have a file cabinet full of herbs so that you can actually pick herbs, and as you're grilling or whatever, the herbs and stuff will be right there. So I see that still continuing as I go along, giving more opportunities for people to come to the garden and enjoy it. Again, I just want people to get off the screen and experience what's there. And I'm 30 minutes from Columbia, an hour from Charlotte, 3 hours from Atlanta, and it really is take the trip. It's worth the trip kind of thing. You need to take the trip.